almost forgot my glasses.
That's not a good thing.
He can't see without his... Where are his glasses? He can't see without his glasses. What movie's that from? Anybody? References?
You just asked me this.
Yeah, but I didn't answer it.
I don't know.
Anybody? You?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. It's, that movie with Macaulay Culkin and that girl. No, I forget the name of the movie. Here, you look that up while we start.
You asked this.
Macaulay Culkin movie with there's some girl in it. Anyway, Jared Polin, FROKnowsPhoto.com. Welcome to RAWtalk episode number 70. That's right, we are into the 70s. Finally, it's been a long time coming. We are back from Las Vegas. Steven was there. I was there, and we actually have an action-packed show. We have a lot of stuff to get to.
Oh, yeah.
I hear there's a ton of photo news.
A ton.
We've got Sutter over there, Steven Sutter.
Howdy.
What vibrated?
I got a little email.
Oh, you got an email. So Steven's over there. He's going to be assisting, hopefully, well, we'll see when we do Raw Talks. It just makes it easier for certain things, and he had a good idea as an assistant. We have the sun thing that comes in back up over my shoulder, which then gets onto the guest's face, you know, the sun, and then we usually hang an I Shoot Raw blanket, which becomes a pain in the ass, and then he was over in the area underneath my stairs, you know, where Harry Potter used to live, and he goes... My Girl was the name of the movie. I beat you to it. Did you find it?
Yeah.
Was Macaulay Culkin in My Girl?
Yes, he's the kid who gets stung by the bees and dies. Oh, I ruined it. Spoilers, spoilers.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Spoiled from
My God, that
1991.
movie is so good. That girl turned out to be hot.
I was watching The Last Action Hero the other day.
Yeah.
And classic. And the kid who plays the actual kid in the movie, Arnold's sidekick or whatever, he was in My Girl 2.
Really?
I was looking up his filmography and all that stuff, and I didn't even know My Girl 2 existed.
Yeah, My Girl 2 did exist. It wasn't bad at all.
What?
She makes out with the kid at the end. That was like... Anyway, so Steven was over by the stairs. That's where I have a lot of the stands and the all the extra stuff, tripods. And he saw the roll of paper, the 9-foot, the 4-foot seamless, which is actually here. And I was like, well, I got stands. He's like, you could use that to block the light. And I was like, good thinking, assisting Steven. So anybody out there who's looking to assist, always being on the ball and coming up with ideas makes you a better assistant.
Oh yeah.
So nice job, Sutter.
Thanks.
Way to cut your
Little
mustache
clap
off.
for that.
Oh, no.
No? See, I have my phone over here this week because I'm waiting for a package. And,
Is it here?
well, no. Heidi just texted me because she's in the shipping department because we lost a couple days. Anyway, we need to get to the show.
Yes.
We need to get to the photography portion of the show. Always be talking about photography. Before we do that...
Let me talk about something else with photography.
I want to thank everybody for all the birthday wishes. I am officially 33. Thank you, everybody who wished me a happy birthday either the day before, the day of, or the day after, because for whatever reason, people start wishing me a happy birthday on the 20th on Facebook. It must be something with how Facebook, depending on where you're at in the world, it notifies people like, hey, can you get that piece of fuzz off my arm? Thanks. It was just
two fuzzes.
Oh God. Anyway, so thank you everybody for doing that, and we met Ron Jeremy in Vegas.
Yes, we did.
Did you enjoy
that? Was
that?
the highlight of my.
Didn't I say something like, "Wouldn't it be awesome to meet Ron Jeremy?"
You did, and then literally like 10
and then
minutes later,
we walk into that
there.
room, and it's like, why is everybody waiting in line? All 4 people, and then we're like, it's Ron Jeremy.
All 4 people.
And there were 4 people waiting because they probably didn't announce. If they announced it, I mean, I want to meet Ron Jeremy. I don't care about those other girls. Those other girls,
AKA porn stars.
Those girls, which I looked up later. Your recommendation. I checked out that one. I had to check it out. You see them in the person. You're like, I want to see them working.
Well, the one girl had like a line all the way around.
So these guys, they all want to get pictures with these girls, which I don't. We did video. We're not going to use it.
Ridiculous to wait
for
in line
anything.
for that.
But I would not wait in line. I would wait in line to just say hi to Ron Jeremy.
Me too.
And
But he's like a legend.
He has a new Wrecking Ball video.
Terrible.
It's horrible. You have to watch it. We'll put it on the page. You got to put it on the page.
It makes it like awkward just to sit there and watch it.
What is with his belly button?
I don't know. And his terrible singing.
All right, we're going to get into photo news, and I'm going to save how our trip was till after this and the flight experience and all that. Why don't we get into photo news?
Photo news, we have a ton this week. We got like 12 or 13 stories. First up, we got Adobe updated Photoshop with a few major new features, including perspective warp and linked smart objects. Now, perspective warp lets you change the perspective, obviously. So basically, you place grids on different planes on the image, which then creates a 3D-like image that you can skew and warp. So it's great for like compositing or something along those lines, or just changing the way your angle was to begin with. You need to really just see the video that I posted, though, to really fully understand how that works and how much it'll help you out in your photography. You can also use the tool to change wide shots into telephoto shots and vice versa.
Wait, isn't that called cropping?
The way they have it, though, no. It's hard to explain. Like I said, you just have to watch the video from them to really understand how this works.
So they've really taken... So this is part of the Creative Cloud.
Yeah.
They update the new stuff.
Exactly.
And you
the
get
nice
it.
thing is, instead of having to pay for a major upgrade, you get it automatically because you're part of that Creative Cloud service. So it's worth having. Now, they also, regarding the linked smart objects, this allows you to change a smart object in one document and have it instantly changed in every document the object is currently found in.
I don't even know what a smart document is.
I don't use smart objects personally, but for those that do, which I think it's more related to like graphic design and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure photographers use it too, but it's good for them, apparently, from what I read. Now, you can also change the vantage point entirely, like I said earlier about the perspective warp. Some minor improvements in the update include performance boost and sharpening, 3D printing capability, which you will like.
That's pretty cool.
That's also more toward graphic designers and stuff like that. But so that's a pretty big update, and it's a great update for those who have Creative Cloud and been paying for that. Next up, we have some amazing, you showed me this, 1860 style tintype portraits of stars that were taken at Sundance by photographer Victoria Will. The stars include Bill Hader, Kristen Stewart, Ellie Fanning, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and a bunch more.
That's Elle Fanning.
Is it Elle Fanning?
Yeah, that's Elle Fanning. It's a silent E.
Just kidding. Elle Fanning.
You know who she is, right?
Yeah.
Dakota Fanning's sister.
When I looked her up and saw the image, I do, but I can't reference any movies that she did.
I can. She was in...
Well, you can reference everything.
Well, no, I can't reference
Movies.
everything, but she was in Super 8. Have you seen Super 8?
I haven't, but I was going to
It's on
watch
Netflix.
it. I know.
It's really,
it's
really
one of
good.
them in my queue for the watch later on Netflix, and
It's
I've been
not
meaning
called
to
a
do
queue
it.
anymore. It's called My List.
Or whatever it's
Excuse
called.
me,
You know
because
what I
remember
mean.
I spent like 2 weeks trying to find my queue and it was no longer there because it was now called My List until they other people must have had the same issue because next time I logged in on the screen they're like, by the way,
We changed
queue is now called My List.
The thing I hate about Netflix, though, is that they don't refresh their list of movies forever. Like, it kind of sucks.
Well, they have so many movies, but the way to find like their algorithm is fantastic for recommendation stuff.
You're right, it is.
But it's so hard to know what they actually have on there. It's so hard to find a movie to watch.
Well, especially when you're actually searching through genre or whatever, but I don't know. Anyway, they're really interesting, just honest images. It's, like I said, like current stars that look like it was taken in like 1860.
Yeah,
really cool stuff.
It's all a fad. All of this stuff is a fad, which is fine. I'm
not cheap fad.
No, and I'm not downplaying it because we got people like Sam Green who just got his tintype, right?
He just shot
Did
his
he really?
first wet plate today, actually.
Wow. Cool.
It's cool to know these processes, but it's part of the thing to make yourself stand out. Like this girl doing this, that makes her stand out. That becomes something she's known for, and she can turn it into other jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think you're going to see somebody that's a tintype photographer making it and just being a tintype photographer, except if you're Ian Reuter.
Is that the guy with the big van?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Next up, we have a new project in San Francisco and New York called #NoShittyPhotos. Aims to kill crappy tourist Instagram photos. This is just something fun to bring up. They went around to They went around to each major tourist area and walked around until they found what they believe is the best angle, and they basically spray painted 2 feet on the ground, which read "Place feet, point, and click here."
And then they got arrested for littering.
They actually got arrested?
They spray painted the sidewalk.
They didn't get arrested, but apparently, let me see. So apparently a number of the stencils that they did spray paint have already been covered by anti-graffiti squads in New York. I didn't even know they existed.
Oh, yeah. Well, first off, this goes back to Kodak Moment. Kodak used to have all landmarks, not all, but many. Like this would make for a great Kodak Moment. Mm-hmm. So they had a Kodak Moment stand here on the ground. And it was all over the place. You could do that.
And now Kodak is not really around.
No, which is very sad. It's very bad.
End of an era.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, tourists now know where to take the best shot in both San Fran and New York if it is still there and those anti-graffiti squads didn't make it. Some places they did actually do this to include Times Square, Golden Gate Bridge, and a couple more. Now, when searching through Instagram using the hashtag, again, #NoShittyPhotos, the only issue is that the more tourists seem to be taking photos of the actual stencil on the ground that they graffitied more than, the actual...
Unbelievable,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Hipsters. Speaking of hipsters, what happened to your mustache over there?
I lost it. It's gone.
Where'd it go? Hipster heaven?
Probably.
Hipster heaven.
You like
Hipster
that?
haven.
Oh, Hipster Haven?
Either or.
That should be the name of a bar.
It probably isn't. I guarantee it is a
Hipster
name
haven.
of a
Yeah,
bar
in
somewhere.
Williamsburg, New York. So what happened? Let me let him speak.
I don't know. I was just taking a shower one day and decided to shave. I don't know why. I definitely regretted it, but it was interesting to see my face clean shaved.
I didn't even realize he had a shaved face until you brought it up.
Yeah. That was like 8 months of growth for him.
No.
All
It
right.
would have been like 4 years for me.
Back to photo news.
Overland Park, a city in Kansas, is under fire this week when they announced that professional photographers are now required to purchase permits if they want to shoot in any of the city's public parks. Now, supposedly, many photographers around the area use the park for senior portraits, engagement shoots, much like any other park that you would shoot at. No word on how much the permits will cost, but the rule went into effect on Tuesday, January 14th. So at the time of this recording was about a week ago. And according to Overland's Director of Park Services, Greg Ruther, the ordinance does not apply to amateurs, but who knows how park rangers will really distinguish who's an amateur and who's a professional.
You and I dealt with this in Philly.
Yeah.
When we went out and I was photographing, you were doing video of me doing the 5-minute portrait with the, what was that thing called?
Gigapan.
The Gigapan. And they came up and they're like, is this, well, actually, they didn't know the rules actually.
Yeah, they
themselves.
were confused themselves.
I got the rules from the park director, and you can shoot photos all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But what he explained to me is if it's for commercial use, meaning you're a photographer getting paid to shoot a wedding, or you're getting paid to do portraits, or you're getting paid to do an engagement session, they want to know that you're there so that they can schedule out so it's not just crowded full of this stuff going on. So it happens here. Technically, I think you need a permit for many parks when you're doing commercial use. So there's no reason to be up in arms.
But how much is the permit for
It was
Philly?
like maybe 25 bucks.
Yeah.
Come on. You're making thousands of dollars.
I feel like that I can understand a little more with being like a historic landmark and more of a crowded place. But a public park, I mean, I don't know. Personally, I feel like you should be able to do whatever you want in the public park.
Yeah, no, again, a public park.
It's not really a historic landmark that is a tourist area.
Was there a
You know what
reason?
I mean?
Did they give a reason for it?
No, they didn't. They just basically said that they're going to start issuing the permits.
Okay.
So who knows how much it'll be, but it is in effect now, so we'll see about that. Now, moving on, this has been known to be coming for quite some time, but it officially leaked on Adobe's site for like a quick minute. Lightroom for iPad accidentally appeared on Adobe's site, which has a price tag of $99 a year. Apparently, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to cost, which is pretty pricey.
Anybody sitting at home? Oh, my phone's ringing.
Is it
It's the front door.
UPS?
Hold on. Hello, front door? UPS. All right, I'm sending somebody down to sign for it. Thanks. All right, Steven Sutter, what? You need to reset the clocks?
No, you have like 4.5 minutes.
All right,
Okay, we're good.
You do it. I'll reset the clocks.
You don't need to reset
I'll
it.
reset that. Reset that one right there. Yeah.
It's not going to take them 4.5
But this one
minutes to
goes
go
on.
down
Yeah, it
and
is.
get a
All right.
package.
Is it recording? All right, get out of here. Go get the door. You got to sign for the package. Just Postman Fro with a package for you. That's who was on the phone. Anyway, good. I didn't want to miss that package.
What is it?
We'll tell you what it is when it gets here.
One interesting tidbit is that the app was labeled as Lightroom for mobile, so it possibly could hit Android tablets too. Who knows? But if you missed it a few months back, Adobe's product manager Tom Hogarty, or Hogarth, whatever his name is, showcased the alpha version of Lightroom for iPad. So there's video of him demonstrating it on the website. And maybe at this time, when this actually comes out, the recording, it might be out by then. Who knows?
What's interesting about this is if anybody does mobile editing, you can use Snapseed.
Yeah.
Snapseed is free.
I love
Snapseed
Snapseed,
is
too.
fantastic. It was a company called Snapseed, and they sold for, I don't know how many million, but they sold to, or millions, they sold to Google. Google
did
bought
they?
them, and Google made it free. I paid $4.99 for the app.
Oh, it was a paid app first.
It was $4.99.
Interesting.
But it was that good that I wanted to use it. So the next question is there going to be raw editing in it? And then the next question after that is, are we going to get raw editing on camera phones? Who's going to do it first? Somebody asked that question. I didn't pick it for flying solo, but Android's going to get there first. And then because Apple follows with a lot of that stuff. They don't let that stuff go shoot raw, but that would be pretty amazing when they start shooting raw. But I don't think most people will understand the point of it, right?
Yeah.
So most amateurs won't get it. They don't want to deal with editing their photos, which is fine.
That would be nice to be able to shoot raw and just edit right in Snapseed and export a completed finished JPEG instead of editing the crap out of a
But $99, I have to, before I comment on it, I have to see how it works.
Yeah.
To see what the point is.
Well, the demonstration looks pretty cool when he showcased it again when it was a really early version, but who knows? Oh my
Holy
God.
Jesus, what happened here? Postman Fro.
Postman Fro
Just
is-
leave him right over here for me, please. And while you're at it, do you want to reset this one? Thanks.
You want me to keep going while you're opening your presents?
Yeah, and then I need a knife.
Fujifilm is teasing a new X series camera called the XT1. Fuji Rumors reports that the new camera will sport a 16 megapixel X-Trans Sensor 2, max ISO sensitivity of 51,200. That's great. 8 frames per second continuous shooting with AF tracking, built-in Wi-Fi, a weather-sealed magnesium body, and a price tag of about what they're claiming is going to be $1,300. Who knows if that's going to be the actual price tag when it arrives in stores mid-February. Product photos of it already leaked online, so those are now up. It's set to be officially announced. Now, this is the kicker. It's set to be announced January 28th, which is when this video, I believe, is going to be out. So this will probably be more confirmed news by that point. So we're just saying it now because at the time of this recording,
we just want you guys to understand that when we record this, we do go with the news that is news.
we don't know the exact specs yet.
It's interesting. We don't. Is it full frame or not?
I don't believe so, but I could be wrong. They
Yeah,
didn't give all the full specs.
They
like
don't have
that.
a full frame camera yet, but Fuji is really doing amazing stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's full frame because the price tag.
Oh, right. So is this we don't know if it's a replacement to the X, what is it? X Pro 1?
Yeah.
When you talk, do I need to give you mic etiquette? Put your lips, raise it up a little bit so you don't hunch back. You're a hipster. You want to have a nice posture. And then just talk into the microphone.
Am I doing it right, Jared?
Yes, now
Are
you're
you sure?
talking into the mic
Are
right.
you sure, Jerry?
All right, thank you, Stephen. Back to the show. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Moving on, we have an extremely creative new music video. This is one of my favorite pieces of the week by Hungarian singer Bogi, or Bogi, whatever her name is.
Yeah, that would be whatever it is. 'Cause I don't know.
Bogggie.
That's Boogie, man.
Is it Boogie?
B-O-O?
No, it's B-O.
You said two O's.
I said B-O-G-G-I-E.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Did he say that?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
I want to say it's B. Yeah, I think I said B-O.
B-O-G-G-I-E?
Correct.
That's
Bogi.
Bogigi.
Bogi.
That's Boagigi.
Whatever. Bogi features an anti-Photoshop theme where the singer gets retouched in real time as she sings. Really awesome music video. Starts out with very flat lighting and all that, and then as you move forward in the video, it's basically like real-time editing that it shows her, or a simulation of editing, basically getting retouched. And by the end, she looks like a gorgeous, like supermodel kind of girl. She goes like a Barbie doll diva kind of thing. Now, it's pretty obvious it wasn't actually being Photoshopped, though, because the way they had the screen set up and all that, again, it was just a simulation, but something really cool and creative. I mean, I don't know how they actually did this, but it's very interesting. Have you seen it yet?
No, I didn't.
You definitely need to check it out.
The one that I saw the retouching was the models, that one company in Europe that is only using real live girls.
Yeah.
Which look hot to me.
Well, because they're real live, good-looking model girls.
They
probably.
were real good-looking. So basically, what happened? I'll just say it. They're using not touched-up models to model their clothes. So, AKA normal people. So if they've got double D's, and this was in the article, if they have double D's, you're going to see a girl with double D's in the ad. Because what they're trying to say is most models only have B's or A's. You know.
Yeah, double D's with rock hard abs. It's like, okay, that's like every girl.
I have that. I have double D's with rock hard abs.
Oh God! But again, like this, it was just a simulation, but the message was definitely well received. That Photoshop is it's getting to be a little too much these days.
It's going to be pulled back. You're going to see a pullback on modeling type stuff, and it definitely has to happen. And like that I don't do a lot of retouching of my work.
I don't either personally, but that's mainly because I'm not an expert at Photoshop.
I'm not an expert either.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are now officially trained to see. People are trained to see how the media or how newspapers, magazines, and advertisements have touched up the photos over the last 20-some years. And they're trained to say, well, why can't I look like that? Can you touch it up? It's fake.
That is true. That is true. Moving on, we have, now this is kind of going off that Snapseed conversation we just had with RAW and JPEG. The independent JPEG group has released an all-new version of JPEG, 9.1 of the format. It features...
Did you hear that?
What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Basically features some awesome new upgrades. The new version of the software library now supports 12-bit color depth versus the normal, I think JPEG's 8-bit, right?
I don't know. All I know is that RAWs do 14-bit.
Well, I know, but moving forward, it also features new compression options, including lossless compression. Can you imagine that? Lossless compressed JPEG. Now, who knows how long until various software and hardware will support this, or browsers for the most part, because that's what everyone pretty much views JPEGs on. So your boy Ken Rock will certainly love this. I figured I'd throw that in, which apparently you didn't think was funny.
I got nothing to say.
But yeah, so JPEG is going to be coming back. It's been a long time. I think since like they've originally announced it that it's been upgraded.
It's been a long time since I met you. Step two. I've been away for a very long time. I think that was Aaliyah or something.
I think so.
Way back in the day.
I don't
with
remember.
Ja Rule. Baby! Be on my baby!
What would I be without my barber? That
What
one?
would you be without my... No, that was the one with J-Lo.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
It sounded the same.
Ja Rule
song.
is like the opposite of a thug. Anyway, go ahead.
Introducing the 25 most popular passwords of 2013. The reason I bring this up is because a couple of them are photography-related terms. Some include Adobe 123, Photoshop is one of them, Shadow is one of them, and the rest are your usual numerical combinations or keyboard combinations like 1, 2, 3, 4 or QWERTY, that kind of stuff. But yeah, so if you have Adobe or Photoshop and that's your password, change that shit right now.
Stuff.
Did you hear what my story was earlier?
Yeah, I think. What was it?
The hashtag no shitty
But
photos.
that's different. That's different. It didn't need to say shit in that term. There's a time to curse and there's a time not to curse.
I feel like that was fine.
I don't.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying. I know, and I
it wasn't
curse
a
lot.
rant. I apologize.
No, yeah, there's certain times.
It's only okay with a rant.
I forget what I was going to say now.
I don't know.
What was the article? What did you just
the
read?
top passwords, popular passwords of 2013.
I was going to say, how do you unlock the airlock?
Unlock the airlock?
Yeah. What's the password? 1, 2, 3. Anyway, Spaceballs. Anybody?
It's been forever since I've seen that movie.
Steven Spaceballs?
I think I
I've
was in
seen
like
it.
fourth
I
grade.
don't remember what you're talking about.
All right, don't worry about it.
Another amazing, this is the last one actually, we flew by this. Another amazing photo story about a photographer getting recognized on Flickr, which you actually showed me. Photography Joel Robison went from an everyday photographer taking pictures of Coke bottles to actually working for the company after submitting some of his photos to them. He was big on Flickr, so Coke wanted him to take their Flickr page and pretty much help it grow by posting his own photos on there, obviously Coca-Cola related. Then in 2013, they offered him a role on the FIFA World Cup Trophy Tour, which is a worldwide tour, huge. It's led by Coca-Cola and FIFA, obviously, taking the World Cup trophy on a world tour of 90 countries. And they offered him the role of the photographer and the voice of their social media during that journey, which is huge. And so, yeah, he went from being someone that barely knew how to use a camera on Flickr to shooting for freaking Coca-Cola and FIFA.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It really is.
What happened there. The fact that he just started off taking photos, being creative, coming up with work, putting himself out there, putting it where it needs to go. Like, Flickr is still strong and very important. People will find your stuff when you tag it. I didn't know how many views a day I was getting, but what I tell you, Steven, 50,000?
Something like that, yeah.
I'm getting 50,000 views a day of what? I don't know. Where's it coming from? I don't know either. But that's a hell of a lot of views on photos just because I put them there and we made that video. We never posted that video.
What video?
The one about what copyright to choose.
Oh.
It's still in the can.
It is in the... Did I actually finish it?
Yeah, I think we finished. We filmed it here. No, you never finished that.
That's what I mean. We didn't do that yet.
No, you didn't edit that.
Because that
one
was
yet.
right before we left for Vegas.
I guess.
Yeah, so it hasn't been that long.
Okay. I don't know. We've been shooting a lot of content, trying to get good stuff up there, and we got a lot in the can. And then we went to Vegas, and then you edited some other stuff. We got a lot of
Well,
editing
it gets to the point where I almost forget what I uploaded. I'm like, did I upload that like 2 months ago?
I know. I had to go look because there are some that are older that I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
But no, it's really amazing that that he got offered a 90 to be the social media voice. You know,
it's huge.
You have to be so well-rounded as a photographer today. That's why if you just go to a photography school, that's why I don't know if I'm ripping on Antonelli or not. I went there. It's a 2-year photography school. They do have business classes. They do have web design. So they have other things that they're starting to do. They're going to have to venture into video as well, I'm thinking. But I mean, if I could do it again or had to do it again, I probably would just pick up a 4-year school. I'd triple major, double major. I would just take everything I could to learn as much as possible, from photography to video to audio to... I just went from photography to video, and I forgot to put up the third finger when I said audio. So we got one finger behind. So I would do that, and I do marketing and advertising and culinary school. I take a little bit of everything. Because social
You
media.
have to these days.
You can't just, like, everybody's a social media expert today.
Well,
But
what is it? New media they call it in school.
I guess they could.
Yeah.
Schools are always behind.
Yeah.
The best way to learn is by doing. The best way the thing to do is to read what other people do. Like, I follow Gary Vee. I follow the tech sites. I follow the trends. I like to see what's coming out. I like to follow up on what's coming out, and I like to try it myself because you never know what's going to work. You just have to stay on top and see what works. Like Facebook making all their changes to their algorithm has really knocked a lot of people down.
Yeah.
And because what they're moving towards is they want you to more pay for stuff. And I'm kind of refusing to. Well, I do targeted ads on occasion. If I run a sale, I will target ads to the readers or to another fan page, somebody else's fan page that maybe they're not readers of mine. But I've also done like campaigns. Now, it's not buying likes. You're not buying likes. You're advertising. You're putting out there that, hey, do you like photography? Do you want this free guide? Because I give away a free 4 tips to becoming a professional photographer. And so what happens is people see that, they like the page, and they get that for free. So I'm giving them something, I'm getting something, and it does cost you money, but it's also a new person. Somebody else you can find. I don't know what he's doing over there. Something else. It's just a new potential reader, a potential client. So there's nothing wrong with advertising, but I'm starting to see that certain ways, like I've noticed that when I post a post with a photo, personally, like photo of the day, tanked. Like it used to get, say, maybe 15, 20,000 views, right? It reached 20,000 people. Now you're looking at 3,000 to 5,000.
Yeah, it's totally crippled pretty much Facebook, the way their algorithm is now set up. What I read on that blog that I was telling you about earlier is that the status updates via the Facebook blog, they said the status updates, if you post that with just a link, nothing else, then that will get you less likes and less reach because they don't post that to as many people that
See,
like
I don't know.
your page.
I read the opposite.
But I just read this 2 days ago from the actual Facebook blog.
All right. And I've personally found that posting like that myself with just a link and some text has worked better than putting a photo in
Now,
it.
do you let the actual link like drop down to that little setup that they have? You know
No,
what
I
mean?
get rid of that.
You get rid of that?
I get
'Cause
rid of that.
They said if you post that or any type of content like photos or whatever it may be, then that will get you more likes or more reach,
I'll
should
try.
say.
I mean, it's all about testing.
Yeah, this might have just went into effect like 2 days ago too, so maybe that's...
I mean, I like to get rid of the one that automatically comes up because I feel that it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
That's just me in the past, but we'll see. Is that all for photo news?
Yeah, and then you wanted to bring up that one story about the guy shooting the crying person.
Oh,
or
yeah, it was
whatever.
Jeremy Cowart.
Yeah.
He took he was doing a photo shoot for, I guess it was O Network or something, and one of the actors asked him to stay after the shoot to take more photos. He didn't know why, and then he took a couple photos, and the guy just started crying, and he started breaking down. He wanted photos of something, so Jeremy asked him what was going on, and he said, I just got word that my dad died an hour ago.
Ooh.
And he's like, and I wanted photos of it. I wanted photos of this. That's just what he wanted. So he was there and he captured that, and it's pretty amazing. For anybody that's been through that knows what it's like. And then, he just wanted to see that. So anyway, he captured
Powerful
it.
moment.
Yeah, it was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is that it? Photo news?
Yeah, that's it for photo news. I mean, we actually went by really fast this week with that stuff.
Why?
Not many interruptions, I feel like.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get back to what I wanted to, because we got into it quicker.
We did that as well.
I saved the other
Vegas
stuff to
talk.
talk to
Yeah.
till after, because I like to get to the photo news first before we do that. So,
Touche.
how was your time in Vegas?
I had a great time. I mean, we were only there for what, 2.5 days or something along
basically.
those lines. But we ate like freaking kings.
Did you enjoy the food?
Yeah, dude. What was that one steakhouse we went to?
It was Gordon Ramsay's.
Gordon Ramsay's
I didn't think
steakhouse.
it was that good.
I thought that was awesome.
It was all right.
The
A
steak
little
was
overpriced. Actually,
extremely
it wasn't
overpriced.
It wasn't that bad, but
I thought it was pretty overpriced.
it was like, what, 150 bucks for
or
two of us.
something? Yeah.
But where they get most people for more money is when they start buying wine.
Yeah.
$12 a glass.
They had that huge
You
like,
wanted to-
rotating cabinet or whatever.
Yeah, so I don't drink at those places because they get you. I mean, they wanted $16 for a Caesar salad for one.
And they said
For one!
it wasn't big enough for two of us. Yeah.
Exactly. If you're gonna give me a Caesar salad, please. I'm not make it like $9. Even that other restaurant, Capitol Grill, it's like $10. All right, maybe if I want a salad before it's $10, okay. $16 or $17 for a freaking Caesar salad that's gonna not feed two people. You can kiss my butt. All right, that's
the other thing.
That was that. So.
And then how about what they told us when we walked in there? The fixture at the top, the light thing.
The girl comes over and she's like, "All right, so if you look up, that neon lights up on the ceiling. That is what was his name?
Gordon Ramsay's.
Yeah, that's Gordon Ramsay's hand motions when he's making his famous
steak or something, right?
It was beef Wellington.
Yeah, yeah.
When he's making his beef Wellington, and I'm like, yippee. So I'm like, thanks, lady. And I'm like, and here's the hand motion that I make every night.
They basically had like a bunch of neon lights that looked like someone just like and threw it up on the ceiling.
But they tell everybody. So when we were leaving,
do you
want to say
for the one person?
Oh, I when the people were walking through the tunnel, I was like, don't forget to look up. So anyway, Vegas was fun. Yeah. When we got to the airport, what happened to you at the airport?
So I went all the way. We checked in earlier on the app. We took what was it?
It was US Air.
US Air back, and we checked in earlier. I checked a bag in on there on the actual app. So but usually, you go to the airport, you check in, then that's where you give your bag and you claim your bag and all that crap. Well, I forgot to do that because I was with you and you didn't have to check in a bag or anything. So I just automatically followed you without even thinking, especially because I didn't have to check in, and walked all the way through security, got through security, and forgot that I have all this crap in my bag. That gel, hairspray, a bunch of other stuff. The stabilizer that I had, the shoulder stabilizer, basically, that they said could be like a weapon because it's carbon fiber and like shaped like one and all that crap. So basically I had to go all the way back to security. I had to go check in my bag and then come back again. So it took me like 25 minutes to do that.
Yeah, and I went all the way to the gate thinking that you were well ahead of me because I had to get patted down.
Yeah, you had to do your separate thing.
I always get patted down. I wanted to. It would have been great to have a photo of you taken.
I know.
Of me getting pat. Next time we fly, I'll go through and get patted down, and then you go ahead and take a picture of me.
I saw you waiting to get patted down, but that's when they called me, and I was like, oh, crap.
I opt out every time, and let me explain to people why I opt out. I would do the TSA pre-check. I looked it up the other day. There is no office in the Philadelphia airport to get approved for Philadelphia to be pre-checked. So that's something you have to do out of like Newark. It's the closest, or LaGuardia in New York. And anyway, so the reason I opt out, if it has one of the millimeter wave scanners, I opt out. I do not want to go through any more radiation. I've said this before. If I'm early enough, I'm going to opt out and let them pat me down because I don't want any extra radiation, no matter how much they tell you it's safe. Because they sit there on the speakers and they go, and this is safe. It's like, okay, and you're going to go into a shower and you're going to get showered, not gas chambered, right? So if you believe everything that they're telling you, you're going to... What? We're sheeple if you believe everything. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So I opt out because I don't believe in it, that thing is purely safe. I'm sure maybe it's fine, but I don't want to be bombarded by any more with as much as I'm flying now. I don't want to go through that thing twice a week. I don't want it. So
I will say there was a benefit to me forgetting to check my bag in because when I went back, I think I told you this story, there was a girl who had a flask that was more than 4 ounces of Fireball. And
who the hell travels around with a flask of Fireball?
Well, apparently she was going straight to like Bahamas or something right after when she got back to Philly or something like that. And she said that Bahamas doesn't have Fireball, so she was bringing that to there.
Because Fireball sucks.
Yeah, well, it's a girl. I don't know.
Fireball's. Do you even know what Fireball is, young man?
Yeah, I know what it is.
Do you drink? Have you had it?
I don't.
No,
I don't
he's
mind
like, I'm
it.
18.
It's like cinnamon. It's kind of.
No, it's like eating a Fireball.
It's like Big Red, but
no,
alcoholic.
a Fireball candy.
That too, yeah.
But anyway, keep going.
So anyway, we go back and she's like, yeah, I got caught too. And I'm like, oh, I just forgot to check my bag. And we're walking back. She's like, I got this flask. And she's like, I got to drink it right now. And I don't want to waste it. I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, let's go back and forth. So I thought she only meant like, I'll take a sip. So I was like, I took a sip. I was like, all right, here you go. She's like, no, you got to finish half of it. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And I ended up just giving it back to her and walking away, but I got a free shot out of it before I went on the plane.
And gonorrhea.
And the worst part was the plane ride for me. Remember I was telling you?
Yeah, I was going to get to how was your flight?
All right, well, the flight sucked, basically.
For you?
For me. You sat behind me, I think, I
was 2 rows behind. I didn't want us to, I didn't know. I set up the flights.
Well, we both like window seats.
Well, I picked 2 window seats because I figured, why put somebody in the middle? One of us in the middle, or why put us on the edge? So sit wherever.
And that makes sense.
I thought the windows would make more sense because we don't need to talk the whole flight.
Yeah.
And we were taking a red eye, so the point was trying to sleep.
Yeah. So I get on the plane and everything's fine. And this big dude, I mean, he's a big, hefty guy, but he's more like muscular dude, and he just like he's
he
in the
wasn't
middle
fat.
seat. No, he wasn't fat. He's in the middle seat, but he's probably more like 300 pounds though, but a big guy. And he gets in the seat and he just can't like even fold his hands, so he's just like plops down, and his hands are all on my shit and my stuff, and I'm trying to like, you know, get all comfortable the whole ride, and I literally have like half my seat that I can try to sleep in. It just sucked. I was so uncomfortable the entire ride home.
And so when you're flying it at night, they also turn off all the lights.
Oh, that
So
too.
then I notice that 2 rows ahead of me, the guy on the aisle seat where Steven is has
Two
his
next to me.
light on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell?
I had
That's
the
so
worst
bright.
row ever. So yeah, so then he has the light on while the entire plane doesn't have one light on, and on top of that, he's talking the entire time for takeoff. And we had that.
Wait. I'll talk about takeoff.
Okay.
I feel bad for anybody that fell asleep during takeoff.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, taxiing, because if they fell asleep right when we started taxiing, a half an hour later, we still were on the ground.
I know.
We were taxiing for 25 minutes. Like, we don't have a slot available. I'm like, it's a red eye. How do you not have a slot out of the airport?
We were too heavy. Remember, he said we needed to
said
be,
that?
We were too heavy, and we need to be turned around on the airport to take a longer runway. That's what they did. Yeah.
Thank God I didn't hear that.
And they had to wait till one of the little things comes out and turns the plane around so we can go back the opposite way.
I must have fallen asleep.
That's why we were taxiing all the way to the end of the runway forever, because we had to go all the way to the end, turn around, and then go the other one that was even longer.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it took a while.
I'm glad I didn't hear that.
When he told me that, I was like, oh, this is great.
Who said that?
The pilot. He was like, we're a little too heavy. We got a full plane, so we need to be turned around and go on a bigger runway.
Oh, wow. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't hear
I was
that.
a little nervous at that
I'm glad
point.
I didn't hear that because I don't like hearing stuff like that. And then when I was walking in, I was in row 20, and this is an Airbus A321, which is, I think they're pretty nice. And I get to my row, and I'm like, wait a second, the bathroom's right behind it. So I didn't know if those seats went back, but luckily the seats still went back.
Yeah.
All right. Back onto, I had a rant, though. Should I save the rant till the, I'm going to rant right now.
I don't care.
Boarding airplanes. All right, boarding airplanes. There's many different methods of boarding an airplane. You've got Southwest Airlines, which you pre-board, you get your boarding number, but then you can sit wherever you want, which is good. So I'm in row 20, right? You're in row 18 for our flight, or I was 21 and you were 19. And I look at my boarding pass for US Air, and it says Zone 5.
Yep, like the last
Like
zone.
zone 5. I was zone 4, you were zone 5. And then when you're right before you're boarding, everybody hordes up there and they're like, if you're a silver, gold, or platinum ticket holder, you can line up.
If you're a preferred,
And
whatever.
if you're preferred, and it was all this extra crap.
It was
And
literally-
so everybody's just waiting. So they're like, zone 1, you can now go. Zone 2, you can now go. And then I went in what, 2?
You went in like 2 before you really should have, and they let you by without a problem.
Let me explain to you the reason I do that. When you're traveling with camera gear that has to go up above, that you can't check,
Exactly.
you need to have space. And if you wait till the end, like with Southwest, if I'm not an A or a B, you know you're going to be screwed because you're going to miss all of the overhead bins. So that's part of the reason I like to get on the plane as soon as possible, because that is important stuff. If people just have regular luggage, that's not as important as what's in this bag. You know, not that anybody knows that. So I walked on in zone 4. I went on when they said zone 2.
Exactly.
And then you tried to go on?
I was zone 5, and I'm like, all right, Jared did it. I might as well try. So I tried, and I think zone 3 is when I tried. And I get up there, and the guy's like, oh no, you're zone 5. You got to go back. And I'm like, really? It worked fine for you, and you have a giant fro, and it didn't work for me.
I must have distracted the guy.
And then the worst part was that in the beginning, when they were like, oh, preferred, gold ticket, all those users, before even zone 1 boarded, Zone 1 boarded, literally like half the plane was already filled because there were so many freaking gold and silver ticket holders and all that crap. And on top of that, the plane, since it was a full plane, I had to check my bag in at the end because I was zone 5 and the plane was already full for the overhead compartment. So I had to check the tripod and something else in.
That was my point.
Yeah.
And that was my reasoning. All right, more on to photo end of this. So I will be going out to LA, or when this is live Monday, I'm going Tuesday. So anyway, I'm going out to LA next week. So we have to figure out how we're going to do RAWtalk before, because you're also going to New Orleans for your
Correct.
brother's wedding. So I'm doing a photo shoot. Now, they called me, and I'm not going to say who they are. You'll figure it out later when I post some photos with the guy. Because people always ask, are you still shooting photos? Well, yeah, I got a call, and we were working on like a budget for it. So I gave him kind of what my bottom line number was, and I'm not going to talk about the numbers. It's 2 days of shooting plus travel. I got to go from Philly. I got to go to LA. And I worked with them before, so I tried to come up with the price that I thought would be right. So I talked to the manager, and he's like, that's kind of the price I had in mind, which means I probably said too much, or too little. But anyway, it sounded like, yes, that we were going to agree on that. And then he got back to me, and then they tried to make it a little less. So then at that point, as a photographer, you have to decide. Are you going to stand your ground and say, no, I've already said what my lowest can be? Or are you going to turn down the job and lose out on shooting, for one, and getting paid?
Yeah.
You know, so of course I thought about it, and I'm doing it. I'm going. They're giving me a little less, but this isn't the first time I've done a job with them, so I take that into consideration. I've made money in the past, and this job has come about because I did something for nothing back in the day.
Yes,
when I chose
remember.
to shoot that concert, I told them, look, trade. I'll give you usage to some images in order to give me the access. Then I've gotten paid to go on the road. I've gotten paid to go into the studio, and now I'm getting paid to go out to LA to get more photos for them to use for the next album.
So it's worth to do it in the beginning.
Well, it was worth it.
Yeah.
And what else is worth it is the fact that they'll call you a whole country away and like your work enough that they want to work with you again and fly you out.
That's great.
So yes, it's good to do the job. I love shooting. I want to shoot more. This is the stuff that you want to do. You want to get those calls and be like, oh, all right, we'll pay you. Let's go. Come on out. So I'm going to go out to LA. I'm going to do that shoot. And
did they meet you in the middle at least, price-wise? Or
no, it wasn't. It's not terrible.
Because you told me the prices.
Basically, I think what happened is they knocked it down slightly to cover the travel expenses.
Gotcha.
So in essence, I'm kind of sort of paying for travel expenses when whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not a bad 2 days of work.
Yeah.
You know, it's not bad at all.
Well, and it'll be fun, too, I'm sure.
It's fun. I get to hang out. I'm staying at the guy's house.
Nice.
Just to make it easier because they want photos. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay there. We're going to go around. We're just going to shoot. I'm taking my gear. I'm not taking flashes or anything because maybe I'll take a flash.
Do they have an ETA of when they want their stuff back?
No, I'll come home and I'll edit it and get it right to them.
Okay, that's
probably. That's usually how I do it. I get right to that.
Yeah.
And when I get home, I'll have to set up the new iMac I'm getting.
Yes.
My new iMac comes tomorrow, which is Friday. Adam and I both were looking for new iMacs. We both spec'd out the same exact computer, and then what happened is he was looking, and they had the one we were looking for as refurbs, and they had like 5 of them in stock, he said, because he called and he bought one. So I called right up, and I was like, tell me a little bit more about the refurbs, which I know all there is about it, and I saved $400 basically. So saving $400 on a maxed out iMac so basically what I went with is the highest i7 you can get. I think it was 3.5 and it turbo boosts to 3.9.
That sounds about right.
And it's an i7. It comes with double the video RAM, so it has the 4 gigabytes of video memory, the better video card. It has a 3 terabyte Fusion drive. The only thing that it didn't have, it only had 8 gigs of RAM, but that's all I wanted.
That's
because
plenty.
then I'll buy 32 gigs from Otherworld Computing.
You don't
and put
even
that in
need
myself.
that much.
I'm maxing it out at 32 gigs.
32 gigs.
Why not? I have 12 in my current one now.
Yeah, I have 12 as well.
I'm going to max it out.
But I don't even use all my RAM at right now.
Sure. I just want to have it in there.
Yeah.
So I bought it and saved money. It still comes with the 1-year warranty, and it still comes with and I bought the AppleCare.
Nice.
Might as well. That gives me 3 full years of coverage, and I have a new workstation.
Well, and if you're going to buy a refurbished product, it's going to be an Apple product. I mean, they're a company that I trust regarding refurbished things. So
Yes.
that's great.
So back to the LA thing, like negotiating with a client, I like to try to make it as easy as possible, and they want to own the rights to the images. Not own the rights, they want to have full usage rights, which is in essence owning. So I have no problem with this. Because what am I going to... You know, you either take jobs or you don't. You could sit around forever and not get... You could get all these jobs and people calling you and go, well, we want this and this. And you're like, no, I don't do that. No, I don't give that. I don't give my negatives, back in the day.
And you'll never
which
get a
nobody
job.
did in the old days. But when I came up with a price, I took into consideration the travel. I took into consideration my style, how I shoot, because you have to take in your creative fee, which is you creating the images. That's worth something. You're not just getting paid to shoot pictures. You're getting paid for what you do, whether you're a pro or an amateur or just starting out. We're all in the same boat. They're paying you to be that photographer. Where was I going with that?
Well, and it's the copyright fee too.
Oh, that. Yeah,
That's
so
a big one.
I took that into consideration. They want usage rights. So what do I say? I still own the images, and you have unlimited usage of whatever I give you.
That makes sense. That's good.
You can do whatever. So you don't have to come back to me. You can use it. They said they're not going to use it for merch, but if they did, whatever. This is. I made it easy. If you make it easier on people, then they're more apt to work with you time and time again. Now that's what's worked for me. Some other people are very big and they're sticklers when it comes to rights to images. But I know that through some of the other big people that we've had on that when they work for these big TV stations or movies, and they basically do buyouts. They pay you a X amount of dollars and they own everything, which is the way, like, Jesus. Bob Gruen said the same thing when we talked to him. He's like, I wish somebody would have offered me $10, $12, $15,000 back in the day to buy out a photo shoot.
Yeah.
You know, sure, he makes a ton more money now, but back then, you know, when you're going out and somebody's going to offer, like, I know that Adam, when he does certain shoots, they do a buyout. And if they do a buyout, it's X amount of dollars no matter what.
Because what are you going to end up doing with them? I mean, just saving them for your portfolio or
right, and
whatever?
maybe selling them in the future? No, I'd rather have the good working relationship so that they keep coming back to me for more. The fact that I come back to is that I did a job for nothing to start, that I got something out of and they got something out of, and I proved my worth to them. And then over the last 2 to 3 years, I've gotten jobs from them. That's the point.
Yeah.
I love the challenge of proving my worth. I mean, I don't like having to prove it. You know, you want people to just know, like, yeah, you're good at what you do, but when you can prove it time and time, you go out there and you shoot, and they're like, damn, this is great. We love this. We want to keep working with you. I love doing that. I love proving people wrong. And another thing is the way, this is probably not photography related. Actually, it is photography related. It's how you look, right? Sutter over there may have that hipster look, and will people hire him? Maybe. I had these long sideburns back when I was younger, and people are like, oh, well, you don't look the part, and they may not hire you because of the way you look.
Really?
Now I have an afro, and it's like, sure, not people prejudge everybody. Everybody prejudges everybody. My favorite though is when you're shopping. Like, I went to the home show, and this all relates to photography, so it relates to life. So life is photography anyway. I went to the home show, which is in Philly, where you look at different home things. And so you've got high end, you've got low end, and you've got pitch people. But I love when they see people walking down the aisle and they interact with them to try to get them to buy their services. And then you walk up and they don't even talk to you, because they pre-qualify you as not being able to afford their services or something.
Yep.
I love going up to somebody and being like, yeah, I'll just write you a check for that. You know, if you can. It's just like, I don't know. It's just that thing. I don't know if that's just something in my own mind, that when people, I don't like when they judge you and then
assume you can't afford it.
And that's why you don't know that. I have a friend, one of my dad's friends that we go out to eat with, who wears sweatpants and looks like a schlep a lot of times, but is a millionaire.
Loaded. Yeah.
Right? You don't know who you're sitting next to on an airplane or at a conference. You don't know that somebody's a millionaire or a billionaire for that matter.
Yep.
So talk to everybody, and this is hard because we've all done this where we've pre-qualified everybody, but you never know who you're sitting next to and what you can learn from them.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not a big fan of I don't like being pre-qualified, but anyway.
I don't think anyone does.
That was that. But that is photography related. So I'm taking that job, gonna enjoy it, gonna go out to LA, gonna shoot, gonna have fun.
I think too, the talking about the way you look, I think confidence is a big factor too. Obviously, I think you know, when you're on a shoot or when you're doing something photo related, you want to act and look the part. You know, you want to look like you know what the hell you're doing, not like you're like questioning yourself.
You ever watch Boiler Room?
Yes.
Act as if you have the
10-foot. Exactly.
That also goes into the faking it till you make it. Doesn't always work.
Yes.
So
no.
if you act as if you are the best in the world, but you may not be, and you don't back it up, you know, but if you act as if, like, people want to know, how do you get backstage? How did you do this? How do you, like, go into a baseball game? How did you change your seats without somebody stopping you? Well, if you act as if those are your seats,
tickets, yeah.
If those are, and you ignore, I learned at concerts that when you walk up to the gate and there's a security guard there who hates their job, usually, and they're just sitting there for 8 hours a day in the beating sun, I learned that if you make the first contact, if you say, hey, how's it going? Could I grab you a bottle of water? And you just keep on walking. By the time you get 10 feet past them, they're like, oh, they must belong.
Yep.
Plus, I have all the lanyards on my hip so they can see that. And 9 out of 10 times, perfectly fine just to walk on through. Now, I belong there most of the time because, you know, you can. I just like walking in. But if you make first contact, then that takes away all of the who the hell is this guy? Because you just came like you belong there.
I had this one guy who I used to work with at a college radio station back in the day, and he was an older guy, probably around 40 years old or so. He did this like retro show. But anyway, he would literally act so confident every time. He was just confident in general, but he would go to shows, get into the hardest shows, like say Elton John came to the Link or something like that. He would just go in, backstage security, somehow get in and go all the way to the front row. And he has pictures too to prove it. So I know he's not, BSing me all the time, but he goes to all these giant shows, and they're not these crappy little arenas, crappy little venues. They're these giant arenas. It's insane.
I'm not sure how you do that, actually.
He literally just goes up and he buys a crappy ticket, gets in and goes all the way to the front row and somehow makes it through.
That's
and
crazy.
has a ton of pictures, like I said, to prove it.
That's crazy.
I mean, he's not a photographer, but he's just a fan of music.
While Steven is resetting the cameras over here, we'll talk about one other thing. I had a friend contact me on Facebook that I haven't talked to in a while. He's a musician. He's in this, I guess he's in this band called Mystery School. They haven't become anything, but I met him a long time ago when he was front-manning another band. And he's like, hey, I tried out for American Idol, and they asked me for a photo of me, and they picked this photo, which is yours. Can you give them permission to use it? So I read the contract thing. The contract isn't that bad. You're not transferring any rights to them. They're not paying you or anything. But because he asked, and he's a friend, he's not even a friend. He was a friend back then. But because he asked, I just sat there. I was like, okay, sure. I don't need to make it harder for him. He's trying to do something. He's going to be on the 31st. His name is Tyler Guritz. He's really got a powerful rock voice. Powerful. I mean, really powerful. I love the way that he sings. So
that's when they come around here, is the 31st?
On the 30, well, he's already been...
Like pre-selected or whatever?
Well, he already performed. I guess they already taped it.
Gotcha.
So he knows whether he's going to Hollywood or not. So basically, they're going to show the show on I believe it was the 30th or 31st. He'll be on. I don't know whether it was in New York or where it was, but I'm really excited to watch him. That gives me a reason to watch the show now.
Definitely.
But he asked for the photo. I sent him over a bunch of other ones just in case they wanted them, and I was like, sure, enjoy. So if it shows up for a split second, it shows up for a split second.
Will they credit you at all?
I wrote on their photo credit.
Cool.
I wrote on there, give me photo credit.
That's good.
As this, whether
Or
it's there, maybe they'll do it at the end in the credits.
Yeah.
That's where it goes.
That'd be interesting. Did he try out for The Voice? Because that just came around.
No,
Philadelphia.
The Voice sucks.
The Voice is way better in my opinion than
it's
American
not.
Idol.
And I'll tell you something.
In
from
my
somebody
opinion, it is.
who tried out for The Voice. Do you know that you see those singers that you think should have made it, but nobody turned their chair? So what's actually happening is right before you go on, and this is a couple years ago, somebody that I knew that was going to try out for it, right before you go on and out, they hand you another contract. And another contract says that they want to own the rights to everything you do from here on out. So basically, you're signing your life away right then and there. So if you don't do it, there's a light that comes on underneath the chair, underneath the stage, so that they know not to hit the button.
Okay. And what about American Idol? They don't do that either?
I have no idea. You have to sign contracts.
I'm
You're
just
signing your life
they
away
all
too.
do that.
But if you don't, you're not going to throw somebody a contract right before they go on stage, because that's basically like slamming them into it.
My friend just tried out for it, a coworker of mine. I want to ask her if that happened to her.
Did she make it?
No, she didn't make it. Unfortunately, she's great too. She's like more of a blues, jazzy.
Who knows why?
Kind of singer.
I've watched The Voice.
She said she liked the experience though, so
sure.
She didn't say anything bad about it.
Okay, so where are we at? We'll do this right before we get into the Wheel of FRO. We got Gear of the Week, and we've got Flying Solo. So we got to jam through. I hope this is good. I always second guess everything I do. I think that's the artist mentality. But anyway, Squarespace. You just finally started your Squarespace, right?
I did. I actually went from the trial to now actually, paying for it.
For
Not
a year.
paying for it, but
I got you
paid
set up
it.
for the year.
Yeah.
When
I
are
have
we
to
going to
still
be able to
finish it.
see photos on it?
I'm hoping to do stuff this weekend, but I say that and I probably won't.
Right.
But I'm going to try.
All right.
I want to try before... See, I got my brother's wedding next week, too. It'll be a little bit of time. I mean, I still got to set up the domain name, too, and all that.
Yeah, I'll help you with that.
Yeah, I need some help with that.
And I got to make videos for showing people how they map over their domain name. So it's not Steven, whatever it is, .squarespace.com.
Exactly.
Which is not a problem, because then it will just be whatever your website is.
And the template I did choose is called like Doc or something like
Okay.
that. I put that in the last RAWtalk if you guys watch that. But it's a great template. I really like it. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's Flash or what, but it's just very smooth and
It
seamless.
would be HTML5.
Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
they don't do
Okay.
Flash anymore.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's just, it looks very professional in my opinion.
Okay.
But it's still the complete stock template. I got to do all the stuff on my
Well,
end.
yeah, you have to. All right,
Yeah.
Steven, Sutter. Do you want to start getting the Wheel of FRO on the table?
Yeah, sure.
Please? Thanks. So, I like getting stuff for the Wheel of FRO, like giveaways.
Yes.
And I'll tell you that nobody pays to be on the Wheel of FRO. I asked them to be on the Wheel of FRO because I asked for the stuff to give away. That's the point of it. You know, so anybody that thinks we get paid to do this part, we don't get paid to do this part. What kind of angle is that on? It's always like right here.
How's that?
Looks good.
Thanks, Steven Sutter.
All right.
So anyway, we've got 2 new things, 2 new companies right now to go on the wheel. We're going to replace some of my FRO stuff with 2 of these companies. But I asked them, I reached out to them and said, hey, I want something for the wheel. So the first thing here, we've got borrow lenses is being added to the wheel. Let's see, what am I going to rip off? We'll take down one of mine. Well, we're going to take off all of mine. Well, as many of mine as possible, but I'll still give away my stuff. Oh, I must have had gaff tape here.
Every time they land on yours, you're always like, I don't want to give away mine.
Well, I don't mind giving away mine. I just did a free giveaway the other day where I said I'd give away 2. I gave away 4.
Exactly. That's what I mean. You're always like, well, let me give them 2.
Yeah, let me give them 2. All right, so, I'll take off the other yellow one and put up the other borrow lenses.
We still got to do that small slither idea that we were at.
Oh, the small sliver and give away like an Atomos?
Yeah, something huge.
I bet you we could make that happen.
Or a road, you know.
Something
Road Classic 2
Oh,
or
that
something.
yeah, right. So that's
super
gone.
expensive.
And then the second one is we've got Lexar. Lexar Hub. So they're giving away a hub. I didn't tell you. Squarespace, sorry, not Squarespace. Borrow Lenses is giving away $200 in credit. So that means if you land on the borrow lenses, you're going to get $200 to rent stuff with. That means you could get like a D4 for a week for that.
Yeah, that is really good because, I mean, I think the 51.2 that I use on my end, I think I used to rent that all the time for weddings and stuff like that. I think it was like $115 for like a couple days or a week. You can get so much stuff with $200.
All right, so we've got those 2 new things on the wheel. So now we have Lexar on the wheel. We've got Adorama Picks, who is giving the photo books. We have both of my flash guides. We got the question mark. That means you get to pick whatever you want off the wheel. We have Rode microphones for, I'm sure they'd give you like a Video Mic Go or something. You got
nice.
Think Tank bag. That's random. We'll pick that up. Another Adorama Picks. Borrow lenses, Squarespace. If you're looking to get Squarespace, that's what Steven and I are now using. You can use code, go to squarespace.com/fro and use RAWtalk. You'll get 10% off your first order. So basically, it's like $85 if you sign up for a year. It's like $84 if you sign up for a year and you use the 10% off discount code. And I think I named everybody that's on it. So that's the new setup. The first spin, because we're doing 2 this week because somebody wasn't here. Actually, we weren't here. We were in Vegas, so we couldn't take the wheel with us. First spin, Steven Miller.
Banned.
Boop, boop. Go ahead, take the money and run. Woo, 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 woo. So he's going to get a spin right here. You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to spin.
Wheel of FRO.
Thank you, Steven Sutter. Boom. Wheel of FRO going round and round and round. Where will it stop? Nobody knows. I see a bunch of stuff going by. Glittery colors. Where is it going to stop? On Adorama Picks. I'm going to make a note. Congratulations, Steven Miller. You're getting a free 12x9 book. It's probably going to be 38 pages. That's like a $80 or $90 prize.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Those photo books are kick-ass.
They really
I
are.
love using them. And the second one is going to be, I put up on Facebook and Twitter for people to guess what was going to be up there, who the 2 new companies were. Nobody said borrow lenses, but some people were like, card reader. But he actually said the Lexar Hub.
Wow.
So because he said that, spin number 2 is going to Eric Ledger. All right, Eric Ledger, it is your turn to spin the Wheel of FRO. Where's it going to stop? Maybe a question mark. There's another good spin. Spinning McRanterson of the Wheel of FRO. It's just past everything. I'm not even going to try to read them out. And it is slowing down and stopping on. If it stops on me, I'm spinning again. I say that every week. Rode microphone! Woo! Congratulations, Eric. That's going to be something. Maybe a Video Mic Go. That's $100 right there. I'm going to make a note right here. You got a Rode something from Rode. All right, Steven Sutter, do you want to remove the Wheel of FRO? I want to thank Borrow Lenses for coming aboard. Thank you, Squarespace, Rode, Adorama Picks, me, Lexar, and I think I said everybody. And the question mark. All right, Steven. Thank you.
That's a lot of great prizes.
That's what I like about the Wheel of FRO.
Better and better.
No, I'll get them, Steven. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot you got your.
I know. I've got.
all your
I didn't even know this stuff was coming, so I might as well just open it while we're here. No, I like the Wheel of FRO because it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I call the company and say, can you give stuff to go on the Wheel of FRO? They'd be crazy to say no. It's a lot of publicity. It's free for them, and this is free anyway. So anyway, thank you to those guys. Congratulations. We got an Adorama Picks book going to Stephen Miller, and we've got the Rode microphone going to Eric Ledger, and now it's time for Gear of the Week. First Gear of the Week, I didn't even know that these boxes were coming. I thought one was, but let's see. I've got Gear of the Week.
I don't even know what we have for Gear of the Week. You didn't tell me.
I didn't?
No.
I've got
you
these.
You showed me. Later.
I've got these boots. For anybody not watching, I've got these Echo boots. These are called Genuine Track. They're called Track.
They look fresh.
They are. Well, I wore them today. They have Gore-Tex in them. They're made by a company called Echo. I bought these on.
What is Gore-Tex?
Gore-Tex is some kind of lining that stops water, but lets your foot breathe and stuff. So it's protecting you. I'll put up a link to this on Zappos' site. The reason I bought these is because Joe McNally posted that photo. I talked about this last week. He posted that photo at the top of the Burj Khalifa, and these were the shoes that he was wearing. And he said that he's used them for 20 years. The same pair.
The same pair?
The same pair.
And
he said that they sent him a free pair. Just, because, and he's still wearing the old one. So I figured I need a pair of boots or something to shoot in when I'm out and about. I can't wear my workout shoes all the time, and I don't want to wear the cowboy boots. This I could wear to concerts. These I could wear out in the mud. I can wear them out in the water, in the snow, because it's Gore-Tex. They're not too heavy. They're great. I'm going to travel to LA in these. The only problem is I got to take them off. I got to put them back on when I'm getting searched.
Yeah.
But that is what it is. So that's one thing.
They look somewhat stylish, too, like with the front.
These are not. Yeah, these are nice.
If you had them with jeans or something.
I love the brown color. This is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
So that's Gear of the Week 1.
Nice.
This isn't Gear of the Week. This is a service announcement. I went to the dentist today. Every 6 months I go. So I got a cleaning today. Everything looked good.
That's good. No cavities?
That's that. We didn't do x-rays today. X-rays were last time. You do those once a year.
Yeah.
But everything was fine. There were no issues. So, yeah, you want to open these boxes?
Yeah,
I've got your knife right here. Here, come on.
I'm just checking time real quick.
Yeah, check time real quick.
We have 6 minutes. So
all right, we'll reset them.
No, don't reset them. He's fine.
All right, fine.
You just make it more work for me.
Steven said no.
All right, fine.
6 minutes is plenty of time.
Start with the middle one. So he's going to open these boxes that just came in. We don't even know what's in them, so hopefully it's nothing from the AVNs.
Yeah, it's nothing weird, is it?
I don't know. Who's that from? You won't see on that sign. All right, just open the
This
box.
is from Hard Rock Cafe AVN Awards.
Come on, you're slowing me down. And I still have to do flying solo.
Is your other Gear of the Week in
I
there?
don't know. Why don't I take some flying solo while he opens the box?
All right, that's cool.
First question, Stephen Miller.
Band.
Darkwing, did you say band?
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck or Street Sharks? Darkwing Duck. Always Darkwing Duck. Oh, I see what it is. Here, hand me that, Stephen.
Is that what you're waiting for?
Well, yeah, that was UPS tried to deliver it 3 times while we were away.
Oh, you told me what it was. I remember.
All right. Sorry for that delay. This is what just came. This is a Rode Podcaster.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, I have. It's going to be on the new computer. I figured. Oh, and they sent another arm too. Another one of these bendy arms.
Nice.
This is the Rode Podcaster. I believe it's like $150.
You got a shock mount too.
Really? Yeah, I know. That's what I'm. Awesome.
You got everything.
All right, start opening the other stuff while we're doing this. But thank you. Rode just sent this out because I figured there's a 10-year warranty on this thing. Basically, it's a USB powered. What do you call these? Condenser microphones.
Yeah.
It's similar to what. It's not
condenser.
as expensive as the one we're using here, but it's going to be really good on the computer for when I'm making rapid fire critiques and Squarespace critiques and all that. So it was really cool to have this.
Yeah, I had a reader ask me, he said the Rode Broadcaster was a little out of his budget, and I recommended the Podcaster too.
Well, the Podcaster comes in 2 versions. It comes in USB and it comes in XLR.
It does have XLR.
Well, in a separate, you have to one or the other.
Interesting.
So you can get that. All right, hand me what's in that box, please.
Yeah, USB is great if you don't have a an actual audio interface. Just do USB.
A metronome?
What'd you get a metronome for?
The
piano?
Well, the next video guide is going to be filmed, so I had to buy a bunch of stuff to use as samples. To use for examples.
Gotcha. What the heck is that?
That is Hungry Hungry Hippos.
What? I didn't know they made it anymore.
I kind of remember it being much bigger than this.
Me too. Like the size of this table.
Like it used to be bigger, right?
Yeah.
Did they shrink it?
It looks like it.
You'll have to get the next guide.
I thought the hippos itself were like this big because you would, bop them or whatever.
And then I got Rock'em. Whoa, Steven!
That scared me.
I got Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Part of the. All right, don't open the next box.
You got all these old school awesome games, dude.
All right, back to your seat. We're going to get into flying solo because I don't want to bore people.
Yeah,
just leave it there. We'll get it later. So that was random. Sorry to take your extra time, but I hope you enjoy hearing what came in the mail. Yeah, so the other stuff, the metronome came because for the next video guide, and the other things are examples and toys for the next video guide as well.
I still don't get why you need a metronome. Say it again.
Well, I didn't explain it.
Oh,
because
maybe that's why.
Well, we're going to be talking about shutter speed.
So you need a metronome?
Metronome is going to constantly move.
I got you.
So you can see what the effects are at different shutter speeds.
How about a bike wheel? That always works pretty well.
Well, bike wheel could work as well.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Gear of the Week, which extra stuff. We took extra time. Now it's time to get into the flying solo portion of this episode. You looking good? You ready?
Yeah.
There are some of the top fives. I didn't choose a lot of those 5 things at this point, but we've got Marco Jelic. That's Jeli with a C and a thingy on top of it. Why don't you like shooting landscapes? Part of the reason I don't like shooting landscapes is my personal thing is I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy nature, personally.
I hate outside.
I don't like nature. I don't know. I don't find it exciting to shoot inanimate objects as much as I like trying to shoot people and capture them in their environment and what they're doing. It's probably something I should go out with an expert on and understand the in and outs of shooting landscapes. How about you? You shoot landscapes?
On occasion, I do. It depends. Like I try and get around in the fall time to do a couple of those fall images, kind of cliche stuff. But I do it for more just myself, just every now and then.
Okay.
Like for the snow, I wanted to go out and shoot the next day, but it was sunny out and all the snow had melted off the trees and stuff, so I couldn't get anything out of it. But
Sutter, you shoot landscapes, right?
Yes, I do.
What do you like about what draws you to shooting landscapes?
I think it's more of just like a natural thing for me because I always go hiking and camping. So once I started shooting, I just started bringing my camera.
So you don't hate nature?
I do not hate nature.
I am one with nature.
I've never camped.
I love nature.
No.
It's like so sweet.
Yeah, camping's awesome, dude.
I need to do it. Well, I don't drink much.
Yeah,
It seems like all you need to do. Well, maybe I'd bring some vodka. Vodka. All right.
And I shoot raw beverage.
And I
Yeah.
shoot raw beverage. There you go. Next question. Austin Paz. How did you and Steven meet? Please tell me it was a match made in elevator heaven like Hall & Oates.
No, that was Jared and Steven Sutter.
What? We met in an elevator? No? No. Basically, Hall & Oates. They went to Temple.
Yep.
And they met, I think they met in an elevator. Maybe it was a fire drill. I think it was a fire drill. And they met out front during the fire drill, and they're like, I'm in a band, you're in a band? All right, let's
You're
make
right,
a band.
I think it was a fire drill.
I think it was a fire drill.
Yeah.
And then thus was born Hall & Oates. I love Hall & Oates, man.
They are great.
They are so good. Private eyes
They're
are watching you. I actually photographed them once. I was shooting the Hooters.
Did you?
And
I shot the Hooters before.
The Hooters were playing.
Another Philly band.
Yeah, I love the Hooters. I should get one of them on. Hooters were playing, and then after, this was at the Spectrum before they closed it down.
Mm-hmm.
So Todd Rundgren played, the Hooters, and then Hall & Oates.
Nice.
So good. Steven and I, do you want to say where we met or how we met? Because you would have known me before I knew you.
Yeah, we met, from my knowledge, it was at a Weezer concert 3 years ago, maybe. It was when you had those tsunami shirts, the benefit shirts.
Yep.
So was that 2 years ago, maybe 3? But anyway, we were both shooting the pit. I was shooting for the radio station. You were shooting, I guess, for yourself or Live Nation at the time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that was live. So that was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, and then I commented on your shirt, and I said, hey, I like your shirt. And you said, hey, here's my website. Hey, check it out.
You bought some.
I did. I actually bought a shirt, that shirt specifically, which I still have. And and then you sent me like a greeting card, and then I ended up seeing you like every time at every show.
Well, what happened also at the Weezer, oh, no, it wasn't Weezer, it was the 311 show. So I started seeing you at a bunch of shows. You shoot Canon. I don't know if I ever saw your work, but when we started looking, your work was very good, and it was very similar to the Feeling the Frame. You were doing a great job.
Thank you.
Which was all you can ever ask for when you look at other people's work, because a lot of people in the pit, you look at their work and you look them up. You want to see what people do. And I think I looked your stuff up on 104.5, Radio 104.5, Oh, by the way, Steven got recognized at the AVN show.
I did. It was by not a Fro reader either. It was someone by the radio station.
Yeah,
this was in Las Vegas, obviously.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, one of you guys work for Radio 104.5?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
I was like, "Whoa, Steven got recognized." I will say though, we did run into 11 Fro readers at the AVN show.
And there was actually almost every other person with a camera too.
Because they're waiting for those girls to make out again.
But I mean, they were trying to get people to pose for them too.
Right.
So it wasn't just your normal amateur dude walking around.
No.
Well, some of them were, but
it was cool to run into Fro readers.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the story. We were at a 311 show, and Steven was in the pit for the opening act, and then this guy's up on stage introducing 311. It was you.
Oh yeah,
it was you. He's looking around. He's like, "Who was that guy?"
I was like, "Who are you talking about?
Who are you talking about?" Well, then he comes back in the pit. I'm like, "Was that you up there? Because you had your sunglasses on." He's like, "Yeah, I work at the radio station." I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And I think we became friends, and we would just see each other in the pit all the time.
That was actually one of the first concerts I ever introduced, and I mean, what was that, Festival Pier? So like 8,000 people.
Yeah,
or
there were a lot there. You're like 3,
11,
3, 3, 3.
You got to get the chant going with those fans.
11, and 311
it.
puts on such a boring show.
They're all. I mean,
they're so boring to shoot. The guy looks the same every time. He's like, or he's bouncing up in the air.
Well, the one dude, Peanut or whatever, he's always running around like a madman. It's hard to get him.
You would never know anybody in 311 if they were walking down the street.
That's kind of true.
All right, David King, Sega or Nintendo? I'm going to go with Nintendo because back in the day, I was a Nintendo kid.
Me too.
Pancakes or waffles?
Wait, shouldn't I be reading this for you?
Yeah, you should, but we'll get to the next one. Pancakes or waffles?
Me?
Yeah.
Waffles.
Steven?
Ooh, I'm going to go waffles.
I'm going to go with pancakes. I prefer pancakes, but I try not to eat a lot of that stuff because that's straight up carbs that's going right to your stomach. Carl Johnson or Janssen if it's a silent J.
I was waiting for that.
Like Dodge. It's Yodge.
Yogging.
I'm pretty sure it's Yodge.
It's definitely yogging.
I've recently turned my photography into a business by selling prints, but now I find I'm spending the majority of my time focusing on marketing. How do you balance your marketing with going out and shooting? P.S. Can you come to the Liverpool, England for a chat, a cup of tea, and a photo walk? Only if there are scones will I make that trip. So this is the age-old thing. People don't realize the life of a photographer, which is something that I sent you an email about us making a funny video about.
Yes.
The life of a photographer and what actually happens. You spend 90% of your time or 95% of your time doing business to try to get the jobs and less time actually shooting. This is just the nature of the beast. If you're finding you're not having a lot of time to go shoot because you're doing a lot of marketing, then go out to set some time aside for yourself to go and do it. But just get used to it. This is how it is. This is business of photography. It's not all shooting. Unless you have somebody who goes out there and gets the jobs for you and you pay them a percentage, which is much harder. That's why you actually have an agent. One of those big guys like a Joey L has an agent, and they go to the agent and they go, okay, it's going to be this, and he pays them X, and they bring in the jobs, and then you can shoot. But I guarantee you that he's still doing marketing. He follows me on Twitter now. I sent him a tweet.
Nice.
Trying to get up there to go into a studio so we can do a RAWtalk. But he's there painting his studio. He's there fixing it up. He's traveling around. He's interacting with people. So there's a ton of stuff still going on, even if you have people behind you dealing with business side.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, especially these days too, you have to focus on that so much because there is so many photographers out there these days. It's a lot easier now than it was back in the day.
Yeah. So we've got Scott Davidson, I think had a two-part question, but I'm going to read the second part. And now a not rapid-fire question because it's pretty long. With the excitement about the DF, do you think there is a market for a real deal manual DSLR? If I were Sigma, I would be developing a full-frame sensor to produce a real DF-like body, but with the ability to ship with Canon, Nikon, Sony, etc. mounts. No video, no burst mode, single cross type AF point that never misses, metal body, manual dials, smallish, LCD, retro styling, and I'd try to hit a $499 price point. It'd be a great addition to anybody's kit. A perfect fun camera that can use all your glass no matter what system you're using. Thoughts? Sigma has tried this. Sigma has put out a camera before that is very, very expensive. I forget even what it was called, the D1 or the DP1 or something, but...
Wasn't it the Merrill or something like that?
The Merrill. Is that what it was called? Well, you have a computer in front of you, don't you? That's why we put you over there. But anyway, Sigma has tried that. No, honestly, do I think that there's a market for full manual focus cameras in digital? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Then maybe for a very small amount of people, yes. Like the DF is that hipster-centric camera looking type thing. And do I think people want manual? No. The majority of people will just want to shoot pictures. They want the camera to do everything for them. That's the people that just want to take pictures. They're not going to turn around and buy this. Sigma, they did have but the problem with Sigma was they had a mount for Nikon, they had a mount for Canon, they had a mount for Sigma. There were 3 different camera bodies. I don't think you could do it all in one, though Sony is starting to have different adapters for all different lenses.
The 2 DSLRs that Sigma makes are the SD15 and the SD1 Merrill.
Right. Okay. And I think one of them's full frame.
I don't think either of them are.
What's the price for?
Yeah.
The Merrill is $2,300, and the other one's like $1,000.
Yeah. All right. So those were the 2. Nobody buys Sigma cameras. They don't. So no, I don't think there is a market out there for full manual control cameras. I mean, the DF is fine. It's nothing special.
I'm sure there's people that would like it, but yeah, market-wise, I don't like. You said, I don't think there's a market for it.
How are you going to make money?
Yeah.
You know, if I watched the video that on F-Stoppers that Lee Morris did,
that was
where
funny.
He dressed up, he became a hipster and went around in South Carolina to talk to people about which camera they liked more, and most people, I think just everybody liked the look of the Nikon. These weren't photographers. They just liked the look of it.
What was he comparing it to? I didn't get to that point.
It was just a D800 or something.
Okay.
But they're like, oh, this just looks like every other camera. I'd go for this one because it looks cool. Right, that's the everyday market, you know, but that's not, they're not going to use that camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Next question. Marcelo Albuquerque. What a good name. Marcelo Albuquerque. Hey, Steven.
Hey, Marcelo.
I shoot a 5D Mark II. Would you consider an upgrade if I move to a 6D, or that would be more like an update? What's your thoughts about it? Cheers.
Yeah, I would say it'd be more of an upgrade than an update because the 60s ISO in general is much higher than the 5D Mark II.
Say that
and the focusing too.
I think the focus of the 6D would be better.
Because I used to use the 5D Mark II. I would rent it on occasion before I went full frame, and the focusing was really bad. The ISO, you could barely push it past like 3200. I mean, people do push it past that, but I don't recommend it. And my 5D Mark III, I loved it because it was a combination of the 7D and the Mark II. But the 6D is great. I mean, regardless. So I would definitely look into getting a 6D. So we have 5 questions from, I don't even know how to say this name.
Let me say it.
You can say it.
It is Danny Rodriguez. Oh,
no, the other one.
Matthias Scumling. It's SJ. O with 2 dots on it, M-A with 2 dots on it, L-I-N-G. Matthias, he's Swedish. It's Jomling. I'm going to go with Jomling, silent S.
How do you say the O's like that?
Jomling. I don't know. I just made it up.
Okay, so rapid fire, Red Wings or Blackhawks?
Screw them both. Neither.
Forsberg or Renberg?
I'll go with Forsberg.
200mm f2 or 300mm f2.8 for portraits? Interesting.
I'm going to go with the 200 f2.
Yeah, I would say that too. Stones or Beatles? That's tough.
Beatles.
Eckert or Sutter? That's funny.
I can't answer that question.
I know, you can't answer that.
That's funny, though.
That's awesome.
I didn't see that coming.
Danny Rodriguez, with the Super Bowl being in a frigid, cold environment this year, what effect could this have on camera equipment? Well, you obviously have to be prepared with multiple type cameras. You got to remember, whenever there's a Super Bowl that's not indoors, you could have rain, you could have sleet. Well, most of the time, you're only going to possibly face rain because it's in LA or it's in, most of the time it's in a dome like New Orleans, but it's going to be in New York. It's going to be cold. It's possible that it could snow. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but you need to have multiple bodies. You need to be prepared for rain. You need to be prepared for whatever the weather's going to be like. You just need to be prepared. It's not going to run havoc because these people have been shooting outside all year long already, a lot of photographers, so they know what they need to do. You need to have the right gloves. You need to have the right boots. I think I would shoot in these boots.
Yeah.
That would be good. You need to have knee pads because if you're constantly kneeling down on cold ground, your knees are going to start to hurt. So I like shooting with knee pads on, so that's that too. So there's a couple of things that they could think about.
Yeah.
Joe Neely, would you call composite photography, oh, I didn't show you this photo, art or still photos? I don't want to mislead people to think it's something it's not, since it's multiple photos brought together. He sent an example, which was a photo of like a I know I can't get the moon and the stars together or this eagle at night for that matter, so I resorted to Photoshop even though I know it looks fake. It is art, or is it a photo still? I'm leaning towards art. So it's a photo, maybe we'll put it up, I'll give you the link, of an eagle sitting on a branch. Then you've got the night sky with all the stars and the moon coming out. And yeah, it looks like a composite, but it didn't look terrible at all. This is the future of what's happening with photography. There is a lot of compositing going on, and who am I to tell you that it's not photography? It's photography is an art, and if you need to make if you have a vision, and that, God, I scared myself. Oh my God. If you have a vision, right, and you can't physically make it happen with just taking a single image, and the way you can accomplish that is in the computer and compositing images, then by all means, then that's your vision. Go ahead and create that. I'm not here to tell you that it's not photography if you didn't do the whole photo straight out of the camera, because the way that things are going, there's a lot of compositing being done. We've seen it with cars. We've seen it with so many different things. With shooting architecture, people shoot multiple frames. So when they're shooting indoors for real estate stuff, they're shooting the house indoors, then they're shooting exposing for the lights outside, and then putting it together in a composite in the computer and making it look great. That is it. The only thing that will change that is super duper high dynamic ranges of cameras, right? If you've got like 100 stops of dynamic range, then the camera's going to pick up everything. Maybe the camera will get to that one day. Right now they're at like 14 stops, but if they do start getting dynamic range to be better, it's going to be possible that it's going to see more like a human eye, because we see the light inside and we see the light out the window at the same way. So I don't think what you're not misleading people if you just say that this is a composite. That's still photography to me. It's not just art, but it's a mix of both. It's composite.
So is this like what he was taking a picture of, or showed you example-wise?
He showed me an example.
Like
I'll show it
focus bracketing kind of thing. Like
no, they're two. I think they're two separate pictures.
They are, okay.
I think.
Okay,
but that's that. So I just wanted to have that little quick discussion. I'll get that to you so you can see it. Yeah. Ian Middleton Duff. Hi, guys.
What's up, dude?
Duff beer. Duff man. Hi, guys. Do you use your camera in rainy, snowing conditions? If you do, what precautions do you take to ensure your gear isn't damaged? You and I shot a concert this way, right?
Yes.
It was
I think Sutter was there too, right? No, maybe
it was.
I mean, I've shot a concert in the rain before, but I don't think I was with you guys.
No, I'm thinking of one of the block parties that we.
It was a block party, and I let you borrow my
Aquatech
raincoat, my Aquatech.
Yeah,
right. So you used the Aquatech, and it poured that night. But that Aquatech worked.
Yeah, it did.
No, it's not an Aquatech. I used to think it's a think tank hydrophobia.
That's it.
There's a think tank hydrophobia, and there's an Aquatech.
So
Aquatech's very good.
Yeah.
Just preparation. We did a quick tip for. Did we ever put that one up?
Yeah,
using
I'm pretty
that bag?
sure you did.
Yeah, Allen sells them. They're these bags. It costs you like $5-6.
That's
and you
what
get
I
two
use
of
now.
them.
They're $5,
and they totally work. I would keep them in my bag at all times just in case, because the hydrophobia is more expensive, but it does work very. Oh, we did it all. I used that at Made in America 2 years ago.
Yes, and I ended up this weekend. I have to actually by the time this comes out, is it this weekend?
It's this weekend.
Yeah, this
so
weekend.
It's going to be out. This won't be out until after the show.
Yeah, so basically this past weekend, Winter Jam, we have a big outdoor winter festival.
She asked my
it's supposed to snow though. And 21 Pilots is one of the bands performing.
I'll be back in time because I'm going to go home. I got to go ref some hockey games.
Yeah.
Because I picked up some games at 11 and 12:45. They won't go on until what? 4?
They'll go on probably around 3:34.
It's going to be close then.
It's going to be around that time. But
yeah,
that'll be snowing all day. I think it's expected to either snow or rain. The high is 34 that day. So
if
it's
raining, I'm not coming out.
But I'm going to bring that little $5.
You can take mine.
Whatever it's, or I might bring
Just take mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not shooting, so you
Sounds
can take it. All right, so that's that. We've got another page and a half, but we've got some rapid in here, so it should go pretty quick.
Very nice.
We've got Armin Fuchs, Fuchs. When is the IS really useful? I mean, do I need it while shooting portraits, animals, or while just walking down the street? I'll buy the Canon 70-200. The question is, with or without? So let's explain IS. If you're shooting inanimate objects, IS is going to help you stay stable when you're shooting. It's going to help you stay stable. It's going to counteract your hand motions.
Yep.
Keep in mind that IS or VR is not going to freeze a subject that's moving. If a subject is moving, they'll blur across it, but the background's going to be nice and still if you have IS or VR on. I use it with if I'm hand holding and shooting portraits of a model. If you've got a wide, well, they don't make like 1.4s that are IS, but if you have the 2.8 lenses and you want to shoot around 2.8, I'm using IS or I'm using VR. I want it to help stabilize. Now, I've noticed some things with sometimes the Canon when you have VR on may not be as sharp sometimes. Sorry, IS. That was something that Fusco talked about. Fusco, our friend, switched from Nikon to Canon. He bought 5D Mark IIIs, and he bought the original 70-200 2.8 from Canon because he didn't want the IS. He didn't like it. He's like, I don't need it. I'll spend $1,000 instead of $2,300. I see VR comes in handy when you have to handhold it slower than 200mm focal length. It comes in handy.
See, I'm on the opposite end of Fusco, where I have the original, but I have the IS version, the 7200 2.8 LIS, and I use it mainly when my shutter speed is under 200th of a second or something along those lines, whatever it is, you know, cut in half. Mainly in low light for the most part at shows or something like that. But yeah, I love it. I never had an issue. If you're doing video on a tripod too.
Oh, see, that's another thing. Is this is the thing when I rip on those lenses that I review, and I'm like, oh, well, who needs the IS in this? Well, video. These days, now if you're getting into a lot of video and you are hand holding or you're doing anything that needs stabilization, it's going to make your video that much better. My macro 100 2.8 IS is awesome for video. I mean, we use that a couple times, and I'm hand holding that 100mm, and it's very smooth. Very, very smooth. All right, so rapid fire, chocolate or vanilla? I like chocolate ice cream. Peanut butter or jam? Peanut butter. Spend a day with Russell Brand or Ellen DeGeneres? Russell Brand. Who wants to spend a day with Ellen? Russell's going to be a hell of a lot more fun. Yeah, I agree. What, Steven? What? You give up Ellen? I would totally give up Ellen to go hang out with Russell Brand. He slept with Katy Perry. Yeah, that is true. And many other men and women. Very true. Spring or fall? Spring. Yeah, I'm a spring guy too. Lose, not loose. He spelled it loose. Loose women? No. Lose both legs or both arms? That's so tough. That is tough. I mean, I wonder if you live better. So I've asked. I think I'd rather lose my legs. Well, I think yes. So you need your arms, but you can get prosthetics now. So health-wise, I used to ask somebody this. I'm like, well, when people are, I asked a doctor this. When you're in a wheelchair, why don't you just amputate the legs if they're not needed? And the doctor explained to me that the body pushes toxins throughout the whole. You know, it will circulate and clean the system, so it has to go through the whole body to do stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, it's doctoring. Kit Kat or peanut butter cup? Kit Kat. I'm a Kit Kat guy myself. Last one. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that. Kit Kat bar. Thank you. Kit Kat bar. That wasn't into the microphone. Get used to it. Thank you. Go back in a time machine to the signing of the Constitution, 1776, or Woodstock. Well, that was the Declaration of Independence. Well, that's what they wrote, signing of the Constitution. Yeah. You know me. I get bored at concerts, so I would totally go back to 1776. Me too. Why would I go to 1969? Like Vietnam War? Do I want to do that? No. I would get really bored at that concert unless I was shooting backstage and just hanging out. You know me at shows. You'd want to go, and then you'd go, and you'd hate it. I'd go, and I'd be like, this sucks! And then I'd go back to 1776, and I'd be like, oh, hey, Ben Franklin, let's go have a beer. Let's go fly a kite. Yeah, let's go fly a kite. Rodin Mansion. You ever been there? No. Where he flew the kite? It's in Ben Salem. I have not. I think it's not far away. There's so much history around this area. It's crazy. Jesse Childress. You have $1,200 to spend. You have a Nikon D200 and a 70-200 2.8 VR. What do you buy next? Well, I think the D200 is probably passé. If you can squeeze into a D7100, I would probably pick up a D7100 because you can't go back to, say, a D5300. Not going from a D200 body, which is kind of a pro body. You can't go backwards. I would say if you can get a 7100, I'd squeeze into that. These days it's getting close, though. Oh, yeah, it is getting very close, especially with the D3300 being what it is. Alex Medvick, how do you react when you're trying to take a street photographs? I'll read it right. Street photography type pictures, and the subject all of a sudden is looking straight at you. So that's a good one. Here, you want to see it? So you're the subject, the camera. I'm going to be like taking your picture and you see me and I'm going to be like, I kind of do the misdirection thing because if I have a long, I'm not looking, no, I wasn't looking at you. I was looking over there. I make I'm checking my focus. Like I don't see them, but I kind of look past them. But even though I was looking at them, I'll make it like I'm not.
I do the same thing.
It's just like, no, I'm checking the settings, checking focus, and then I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? And
I'm
then
just checking exposure. It happened to be, the camera happened to be pointing your way.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly. So that was that.
Yeah.
I once did that in summer camp with this girl in a bikini, and she waved at me.
Street photography is tough, especially if you don't live in like New York or something. You know what I mean? Where people, or in Philly, in Center City, where people kind of expect to be photographed almost.
Nah. It looks like we've got Maiva Silva. We've got another 5 and then another 3 questions.
Another 5. First one, blonde or brunettes?
Either or.
Mine's either or too. Out drinking or boring night in? We know this.
I don't want to have a boring night in. I'd rather have a fun night out, but I don't need to be drinking.
That's true. That's true. Friends or How I Met Your Mother?
Friends, because I've never seen How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I like Friends better too. How I Met Your Mother is good too, though.
I'll just wait till it ends and then I'll watch it all. Maybe. No, I don't watch a lot of sitcoms.
This one's kind of tough. Vanilla Ice or Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Well, I like vanilla. I love Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
I love vanilla. I mean, my posse's on Broadway.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. Is that
That's Sir
the Humpty Dance and all that?
No, that's Steven.
Which one's the Humpty Dance?
The Humpty Dance is the guy with the gold nose. That's Digital Underground.
Why did I think it was Sir Mix-a-Lot?
The Humpty Dance
Sir Mix-a-lot
is your
is,
chance. I like big butts.
I like big butts. That's one.
Come on, Steven. And Vanilla
Oh my
Ice.
God, sorry.
What's Vanilla Ice's biggest song?
Ice Ice Baby.
No, it's the Ninja Turtles rap. Go ninja, go ninja, go. 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 Go ninja, go ninja.
Speaking of Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll take the Ninja Turtles any day of the week.
Yeah, I agree on that. Even though I was a pretty big fan of Power Rangers back in the day.
I was a little older, so that wasn't it.
Yeah, I was
James
younger.
Garcia, Fro, what do you think of presets for Photoshop? Are they worth the price tag? And if so, which ones would you recommend? I don't think they're worth the price. Personally, that's that theory. Like, you're just pushing a lot of buttons. You're paying money to have somebody make presets. If you're going to get like 1,000 of them, are they going to be that different? Maybe. Or can you just create your own style, your own presets? I'm a fan of making your own stuff and not going out and trying to find a shortcut for presetting your editing.
I just feel like the presets never work with my images. Even if I save my own, I always have to tweak them a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah, it's never perfect.
I have a lot of friends that use presets, but I don't know. I can't see myself using
That's
them.
because you're young hipsters. You kids like to just push buttons and are so trained by, and this isn't I'm not ripping on you young people, but you've grown up in a time where you've had cell phones your whole life and you've been able to take pictures and you've been able to now Instagram and do all of this stuff with just pre-pushing buttons.
No, I totally agree.
No, you totally agree?
Yes, I agree.
Thank you. That's better. Alex Medvick, could you have Dave Leno come back on to do a short memorial piece on Sutter's mustache? Saw on Instagram he shaved it off. A true loss to the photo community.
Oh, I love that question.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I should have Leno come in and...
We can play the song in the background, have some guns firing off.
Dave Chlastos, Chlastos.
I got nothing.
Chlastos. How much post-processing is too much? A matter of taste, or is there a point where an image loses its integrity? If you're asking the question, if you processed an image too far, then you've absolutely processed it too far. If you've sat there for like 20 minutes on the same image and it's just, you keep tweaking it, if you find that all of your sliders are pushed one way, you've probably taken it too far. Do it to taste, walk away, come back, find a happy medium somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that, you know, you're like, oh, I took that too far. And what I do is I go backwards a few steps to see if I liked it right before I made those changes or after.
What I do is I do quick bulk edits, or just quick edits in general, go through most of them, and then I go back about an hour later and check with a fresh eye, and you can always see that you probably, pushed this one too far or did whatever. Clarity's too high on that one. I usually end up going back.
The clarity is one thing that I recommend that you always pull back on.
Yeah.
Not the wrong way to make everybody look glowy McGlowerson, but just don't go too harsh. I find myself around 7 or 8, depending on the image. Anytime you get over 20 with clarity, you start to look at issues.
5 for the most part, or I go a little under if it's like a wedding portrait or something like that.
So it looks like we've come to the end almost of RAWtalk number 70, which went on for a while. Somebody asked if we're on Stitcher for people that have Android and an app. Yes, if you have the Stitcher app, the Frono's Photo RAWtalk is on Stitcher.
Had a podcast app?
Yeah. It's a podcast app. I don't know. It's on Stitcher. It automatically goes there because I went to sign up for Stitcher and then they denied me and they said your show's already on our Stitcher. So I was like, oh well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't set it up back in the day. So that's that. Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/fro. Type in code RAWtalk when you go to checkout, and you will. Well, first off, just take the 14-day free trial. If you like it, then use the code. If you don't like it, then no problem. Thank you to Rode Microphone. Thank you for the podcaster. I'm glad that thing came in. Can't wait to use that on the new Mac. Thank you to Adorama Picks for winning, giving away one of those books. Rode's giving away something for the Wheel of FRO as well. And I think that's kind of it. So next week we're going to figure out, because I have to leave town on Tuesday, and we normally record at least on a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Maybe we'll do a nighttime Monday or something.
Well, I'm leaving Tuesday, right?
Well, what time Tuesday?
I don't know yet. I have to. They're setting all the flights and everything for me.
Or if we did a Tuesday morning or something, just because Monday morning is my Raw Talk edit day.
Right.
I'll be editing this episode Monday morning.
Well, so this is the stuff we have to figure out.
Yeah.
When this goes back to that marketing question.
I'll fly to LA and we'll do it there. Another mobile.
Do you
Raw
want
Talk.
to?
No, I can't do that.
Oh yeah, you can't because you're going out to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah. This goes back to that marketing question. How much time? How do you get back to just shooting? Well, I'm shooting in LA, and I've got the website to handle and do RAWtalk. So we have a interview in the can.
Yep.
Which we could sit here right now and do an intro to, and just in case we don't get to record, we could have that interview ready to go without photo news, because what's photo news going to be on Tuesday anyway? You know, there may not be that much.
You're right, actually.
So we'll figure that out. We might as well end the show so you don't hear our total train of thought, but this is what goes on. We have to figure this stuff out. So that's it. Steven Sutter, thank you for your help.
Yes, thank you.
Anytime.
Stephen Eckert, thank you for your help.
This guy over here.
This guy and
Steven.
All right, guys, that is it. That's RAWtalk episode number 70. Please be sure to check it out on YouTube. Download the MP3. Subscribe on iTunes. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.